Going. So we are officially live here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk again. This is the game plan. It's the first Wednesday of the month, and that means we are back out at Chelino's here in Yukon, Oklahoma, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. This is our usual venue for the first Wednesday show of the month, and it's always 2 hours long, so we're going to be here. We're actually starting a little bit early, but we're going to be here for 2 hours nonetheless, 4:30 to 6:30 now, and we thank you for tuning in. So on this show, I'm going to bring you all the usual, all the breaking news and current sports, local coverage, and everything in between. So we invite you to stick around for the whole thing. If you are seeing this in the future, you may be seeing the recorded version of it. Just want to thank you for tuning in the future as well. But it's been a great week so far. We're only halfway done. We've still got plenty more coming up here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk, and I mean plenty more. 2 football games, high school playoffs, college basketball tomorrow, and then that's not even mentioning the coaches shows and everything coming up next week as well. So we have a lot to talk about, but thankfully we're going to have 30 minutes in each segment to do it. And we're going to start with the local talk here, but first, remember, we are at Chelino's. I've already said the address is 1227 South Garth Brooks, one of our favorite locations to be. And we come here on the first Wednesday of the month because it is $8.99 enchilada night here at Chelino's. It's a big celebration. I mean, you'll see, trust me, as it gets closer to 5:36, you'll see the place behind me start to fill up on the Facebook Live video. People come in here from all over to get a taste of those $8.99 enchiladas. Call 405-350-2006 to get a hold of Chelino's and make your reservation. But speaking about those enchiladas, we take a look at the menu here. Some of the items they have are the enchilada dinner, which is your choice of 2 cheese and onion, shredded chicken, or beef enchiladas, topped with, again, your choice of sauce. And one thing I don't usually talk about on this menu is that they actually have it marked. It's color-coded. And the, excuse me, the enchilada dinner is marked as a favorite of the restaurant. It's a hot seller, right? It's a new recipe and a favorite, and they fly off the shelves, if you know what I'm saying. But the enchilada sweet says is 2 chicken enchiladas topped with green crema sauce. That is a new recipe as well. And that one, according to the color code, is an entirely new item that they've had on the menu here. So if you're looking for something you might not have had before, that might be a good one to go and try out. Looking across, there's options for the more, I don't want to say healthy-minded, but there's options if you are concerned with, calories and health and all that. Try the avocado enchiladas, 2 flour enchiladas filled with sliced avocado and topped with your choice of sauce. It's a very healthy option and great tasting as well. You can also create your own dinner here at Chelino's. You've got 1 item, 2 items, or 3 item options. And for all of those regular plates, all those traditional platters is what they're called, you can upgrade to premium sides for 50 cents each. Not that much of a hike right there, and great value for your money. Chelino's is a great restaurant. I mean, they're all over the Oklahoma City area. We come out to this one in Yukon because it's our favorite, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard right here. If you come from the north side, you will miss all the construction on Garth Brooks, and that's how I get down here, so it's always a nice little trip. But anything else that, you want to come in here for, they've got it. They've got seafood. They've got burritos. They've got tacos, obviously. They've also got what's called the Fiesta Combos, which those are, the big meals able to feed a lot of people in a party. 15 all the way up to 40 in that section of the menu, and you still got that option to upgrade to the premium sides if you so like. So, I mean, there is plenty on this Chelino's menu for everybody that might want to come by here. And if you do, it's $8.99 enchilada night. And bring the whole family. Take the office party out. Hey, Christmas party right here at Chelino's coming up later this month. There you go. That'll be a good thing for you to go and do. But on our show today, it's not Christmas yet, although we are getting in the mood. We've been playing Christmas music on the Gospel Station proper pretty much all week and even into a little bit of last week. So we are getting in that mood. It is coming very quickly. Before I talk sports, man, Small Business Saturday, we had that last week. That was a great time. We had live remotes. I did one. Masood Jones from All Phase Realty did one. We were meeting a lot of people. Santa Claus made an appearance. He was doing the hayride. So it was really just a great time. We're going to be back out on this Saturday. I believe Miss Jones actually might be doing another show. So if you're still looking for local businesses, local support, and all the action happening around the city of Bethany. Tune in on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk this upcoming Saturday. All right, well, let's go ahead and exit out of that. All right, so talking local sports, obviously, this is the first bit we're going to do here. Basketball and football are the main talking points of this part of the year, and for good reason. Obviously, football wrapping up playoffs now. We're in semifinals. We're in semifinals for some, state championships for others. You'll have to excuse me. I was munching on some chips before starting this. It's never a good idea, but I might grab a drink before we continue. Okay. I think we're good to go. But anyways, as I was saying, semifinals for some in football, championship week for others in football, including Carl Albert. Carl Albert Titans take on Bishop McGuinness in the Class 5A state championship this Saturday. It will be held at the University of Central Oklahoma, so not super far away from anybody in the city, which is awesome for us. Super great for us. But it is really a matchup of what has appeared to be the two most deserving teams to this point in the season. We'll go ahead and pull up their schedules. Carl Albert, obviously, 13-0 again. They're, again, hunting a perfect season, trying to go all the way. Bishop McGuinness coming at them on the other side, a 12-1 team coming off of a 61-28 win against MacArthur to make it to the championship round. Their path included Guthrie, Claremore, and, of course, MacArthur in the playoffs. Now, at risk of sounding like a broken record, I think Carl Albert has the advantage here. They're going to be met with a very, very high-powered Fighting Irish offense. That is for sure. I was speaking to their coaches earlier today, and they gave me a little look at some of the statistics that the Fighting Irish have, so I might see if I can pull up that email real quick. That wouldn't be a bad idea, because he told me what their offense was averaging, and I had to say they were pretty good numbers. So let me go ahead and find that real quick. The offense for the Fighting Irish is averaging 33 points and 300-plus yards per game. They are only giving up 17.2 per game and 191 yards per game, which is ridiculous. Those are great numbers. That is, like I said, a high-powered offense, met with a stingy defense. Holding people under 200 yards has been a big reason for their success this year. And, I mean, clearly it's been good if it's led them to the state championship. But they're meeting, again, a Carl Albert team that has been very high-powered themselves. See, Carl Albert had to beat Duncan, McAllister, and Newcastle en route to the state championship. And in each of those three games, they put up 40 or more points. Two of the three were 40. That last one, 61-28 for Bishop McGuinness. So it's kind of, like you said, a very even matchup on paper. These two teams are used to beating people by a lot. But Carl Albert does have a wealth of experience in this situation. They're trying to make it, 4 in a row now? They're trying to have another undefeated season. They're trying to extend their playoff winning streak to something in the 40s or whatever they're at now. Like, it's just a ridiculous Carl Albert Titans team led by Anderson Collier at quarterback. I have a hard time seeing them lose. Now, it's not impossible. It's never impossible as long as there's time on the clock, really. Newcastle, that semifinals game for Carl Albert, we were out there broadcasting that one at Norman North High School. They actually played Carl Albert very well for about a half. They kept it close. I think at half it was about 21-7. And that was after a very, very late defensive touchdown, I think it was, from Carl Albert. So the Racers actually played them very, very well. You do have the chance to get on the Titans from the start and put them on the back foot. If Bishop McGuinness can do that, if their offense puts the high, points on the board first, okay, well, now they've got a chance. Now that offense averaging 33 has a chance to go out there and get a win. But again, they're going to need more than 33. They're going to need more than 33, or they're going to have to hold them to less than 17, because really I'm not sure how they're going to hold Carl Albert to that low of a number. Again, those were just season averages, averaging only 17 points given up. Carl Albert is not the team they have been playing this season. Looking at Bishop McGuinness's schedules here, or their record this year, 12-1. They've got wins over top-ranked teams. They've taken down Duncan, who Carl Albert just beat. They beat Newcastle, who Carl Albert just beat. They lost to MacArthur, although they got the get back on them in the semifinals. That was their one loss. It was 35-21 at the final. But obviously they haven't played Carl Albert yet this season. They're going to be meeting a Titans team for the first time who has won the physicality question in basically every phase of the game. Defense, offense, and special teams, really. They're meeting some of the best edge rushers in the game right now. And, man, thinking back about that Newcastle game, man, Carl Albert has some good defenders, both on the line and in the secondary. I personally will be watching Bishop McGuinness for the first time in this state championship game. I know that. I am eager to see if they are, an air raid offense, if they do try to keep it a little bit spread out and a little bit even. Based on their point totals, I would not be surprised if it was air raid, but that's just, what I'm looking at on paper. I don't know much more than that because they do have some very close ones as well. 17-14 over Deer Creek, that's only a field goal. A 24-14 win over Newcastle, again, that's only 10 points. That's one of the closer ones. They're far from untouchable, which is kind of the story of Class 5A, is they're not untouchable, but they are very, very, very difficult to beat. There's a way, where they say where there's a will, there's a way, but I'm not saying that way is very wide. It's not a very wide road to get there. And that is even more true on the Tuttle side. To be completely honest with you, I think that one is going to be a wash in the semifinals. And I always hate saying that because I hate, discounting the efforts of the team on the other side of this. But Tuttle is matched up against Broken Bow. Now, Broken Bow is very, very good. As I've heard, they are, again, another top team. They have a lot of high-end talent. There's apparently a lot of kids that will commute to Broken Bow just to play football. That's the kind of program they built there where it's so appealing that people would drive in from all over to play. I mean, that's even easier than normal with all the transfer rules. But Tuttle is undefeated themselves. Broken Bow comes into this game, I believe the 3 seed in the entire playoffs is what I want to say. Maybe don't quote me on that, but I'll try to look it up real quick while I'm thinking about it. So I'm pulling up their records, but Tuttle this season has been unreal. Now, this one, again, is the one I do think is going to be a wash. I don't think any team, save maybe Elgin, in this one has a chance to beat Tuttle. Broken Bow's 11-1. Their one loss came to Sallisaw back on, looks like October 3rd. But they have a win against McAllister, who was in the 5A playoffs. They have a win against Ada, who was in the playoffs. They have a win against Stillwell, and that was a big win. In their path to the semifinals, they took down Wagner. They took down Weatherford. Wagner in a 70-35 game. Weatherford in a 50-28 game. So they have really only improved as the playoffs have gone on. But I think they're just going to meet a brick wall in the Tuttle Tigers, as many teams have this year. The game is going to be held 2 days from now on Friday at East Central University in Ada. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. We'll be out there broadcasting the game, of course. But looking at it, man, Tuttle is probably as close to untouchable as it gets. They're led by Cruz Campbell in the quarterback position. Sean Roosevelt Jr. on the ground. They've got the Lanes out there at the wide receiver position, and they've got absolutely ridiculous defense as well. I mean, it's just all coming back to me every game I've watched this year. How many other teams in the nation do you hear of holding opponents to 0 points for essentially 2 months in a row? It just doesn't happen. That's not a thing people do. Tuttle has that claim to fame. Tuttle beat Clinton and Grove 51-6 and 51-0 respectively here. Now, I do think this game will be closer. I think there is absolutely a way that Broken Bow does put more points on the board. But that being said, no one has scored more than 13 points against Tuttle, and that was Guthrie at the very beginning of the season, who only got 13. Less than 2 touchdowns and 2 PATs. It's going to be closer, but that doesn't mean it's going to be close. And that is how I'm approaching that game. Now, it's just I don't know how people would do it. I legitimately don't know what the answer is to the Tuttle offense that has arguably one of the best running games in the state, coupled with arguably the best passing game in the state. I just don't know how people defeat them. They are so deep, so skilled, so talented at every single position. Maybe the only thing that could do in a team like that is penalties. It's the self-inflicted wounds, and Tuttle has really only struggled with that maybe once this year, maybe twice. So I hate to say it because I want it to be a more interesting conversation than this, to be honest, but I don't see Broken Bow coming away with a win in this one. I believe it is going to be Tuttle in the state championship on their side. Now, the other match that's a little bit more interesting, I believe it is Elgin and Cushing. Is that right? I got to go look real quick. Yes, Cushing. I was right. I can't believe that. Elgin and Cushing are playing at Putnam City North. That's at the same time, kickoff at 7. Elgin obviously defending state championships. They got Tuttle last year, but even if they do make it back to meet the Tigers, I'm not sure it would go their way 2 years in a row. Again, that's just the kind of team the Tigers have put together this year. While I'm talking about them, Elgin had a pretty good streak of holding people to scoreless games from October 16th to Halloween, October 31st, but that's only half of what Tuttle held their opponents to. It's just been a ridiculous year for the Tigers, and I see them going all the way, even if they do face Elgin in the championship. Elgin beat Bethany, Ada, and now has Cushing. So we'll see how their side goes. We'll be keeping up with it during the Tuttle game as well. But I think that about takes us to the end of the football conversation. To continue talking about local sports, we just got done with the season opener for Bethany High School basketball on GSN Sports and Talk, our YouTube channel, yesterday. It was a win for the women's, but an unfortunate loss for the men's against Crossings Christian. And I know on the men's side, Crossings is the runner-up from last year's state championship, so they are still a very, very, very good team, and they displayed that yesterday with some dominant performances from 2 of their players. But they also lost, one of their biggest names to the next level. So let's take a second and listen to some interviews that John Hickman got during those games, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about how they went.
Yeah, I'm here with brand new head coach for our Bethany Broncos boys team, but he's not super brand new. He was with the team for a couple of years now under the tutelage of Coach Cannon. However, Coach Holliday has the reins. Coach, we're super excited about our season. We kick off after this game against Crossings, which we've got a history with them. Last year they beat us in regionals. They've lost a couple of players, but a lot of them still come back. We lost a ton of players. Our whole starting 5 has moved on to other pastures. And so, gosh, there's so many unknowns. Let's just start with you first. How does it feel to be the guy in a different chair than you were the previous years?
It feels good. It's awesome. We're not reinventing the wheel over here. Coach Cannon did a great job before me, and so I'm just continuing some of that same stuff he did. And so I'm grateful to have a mentor like him and somebody like that to kind of pave the way for me. So not reinventing the wheel, just, sharpening up the things we can sharpen up. And like you said, we got a lot of new guys that are coming in, and so just trying to get some experience there and gain some confidence. And we're not using that thing as an excuse, other teams don't care like who we have on our side. Like, they're coming to win games, and so are we. So
that's good. You said you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's been a system in place, but your voice is more unique than Coach Cannon's and just different. Obviously, you're not the same person. Y'all have been together for a while, but maybe where would you say there's some differences that maybe you're going to add to the team this year?
Yeah, I think we just have different tones that we use to get our points across. And so, he's got his tones and I have my tones, but the message is still the same. And so that's one thing I've really, really tried to push home with the guys this year, is that listening to the message rather than the tone. Because sometimes you can get lost in the tone and miss. It's really, really hard to grow and learn from that, right? So
yeah, that's a good word. And so 5 seniors start last season. They've moved on, and you've got a whole new starting 5. Denton Jaggers comes back. I don't know your starting lineup. He got a lot of minutes. I imagine he's probably one of those guys. But with a new starting lineup and chemistry and you as a new coach, what are your expectations tonight from the players?
Coach Cannon had it, and he said best is the standard. And we're carrying that on, and so best is what we try to achieve, but we know that we're going to fall short of that, but we're going to try anyways, okay? Because anywhere we land trying to be the best that we can be, we know that's going to be the best for our program, the best for our guys, and the best for our community and our team. So best is a standard, and guys are trying to achieve that. Yeah, we got a lot of new guys in there, but these guys have been around each other for a really, really long time. And they got to, be in practice with those seniors last year and compete with them and get better that way. So they have a little experience, not actual varsity game minutes, but they have varsity practice against high-level competition and high-level guys.
Well, you face tonight the state runner-up. They fought Weatherford in a tough battle last year for the gold ball, came up just a little bit short. I mean, a close game. So tonight's challenge is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
But what do you expect? Like, what do you want to see? No matter what happens here tonight, what do you want to see out of those guys that at the end of the game they did what they were supposed to do?
Yeah, we've talked, since August all the way till now, and I think we've had around 35, 36 practices of just being together, regardless of what goes on, having 5 guys that are walking towards each other instead of in 5 different directions. And so, if everything goes right, we want 5 guys walking close together. If everything goes bad, we want 5 guys walking together that are out there on the floor. We want our bench to be involved. We want our managers to be involved. We want our we want everybody's hands on this thing, doing their part to make this engine run.
I know you want to get to the team, but real quick, they have a new coach as well. So what do you expect much difference or any difference from last season? Or have you kind of been able to see some scrimmage tape or anything like that?
Man, Renzai's awesome, man. I've got the pleasure to coach his son years ago. And so I know him pretty well. He's a great coach. Coach Shank before him was a great coach. And they got a really, really, really good program and culture there set in place. So I don't think much is going to change. They're still really good. They still compete at a high level. They still have really, really good players and really, really good coaching. So it's going to be a fun one.
It's going to be super fun. Luke, you got anything for Coach Holliday?
No, sir. Just it's a good interview. Great job.
Well, how about that? He's talking about you, by the way. So good job, Coach Holliday.
I appreciate you guys always.
Hey, we appreciate you. Go get him tonight. Best of luck. And super stoked that you're the man leading the team. So thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, I'm here.
So you just heard the interview with head coach Josh Holliday of the men's game. They did unfortunately lose that one, but only by 10. It ended up being 60-50 was the final. Like I said, it was honestly a very good game from Bethany. They played the state runner-ups extremely close. And I mean, thinking back to it, they got great production out of Breck Brady. They had some great production out of Jagger Weaver. Denton Jaggers was in there as well. They do have their things to work on, right? Fouls are going to be a big part going forward. Ball security is going to be a big part going forward. But ultimately, I think they just didn't hit down the shots at the same clip, that Crossings did. And, that happens. They have some extremely good shooters. And the older Buckingham and Mr. Sykes, so if you go back to that game, you'll hear us call out those names a lot. They had some crazy players. But the future looks very bright for Bethany basketball this year. They've got a lot of different athletes who do a lot of different things, but it seemed through just one game that they were actually gelling very well. So that was the men's. Let's hear the women's now. One with Reese Harris and one with Allie Lynn.
With our senior Reese Harris after our girls won a big opening matchup against Crossings before this boys game. Reese was on our coaches show last Tuesday at Zaxby's. What is today? No, it was Monday, and today's Tuesday. Gosh, it was yesterday. Well, you were on our show, and here you are again after a great game. You talked about in that interview yesterday about your three-point shot and how important it was to the team, and that was kind of your goal. You said, I want to hit my shots, and you hit 2 big threes tonight, and then also a layup, I believe. I think you had 8 points, and so a great opening game. Now, I talked with Allie Lynn right after the game. It started a little sketchy. I mean, they came out trapping, and we didn't handle the pressure well, and then we kind of got our act together. What would you say attributed to us kind of figuring this whole thing out?
Well, I think in the first quarter, we weren't playing bad. I think we were just having a really hard time hitting our shots. And then we came in at halftime. Coach Taylor told us we were only 3 of 13 from the three-point line, and we were like, we might need to get on that. So then we ended up being 9 of 18 from the three-point line in the second half. So I think something just switched in our minds. We were passing the ball everywhere, playing as a team, and it was just a lot better in the second half.
That's a great way to put it, playing as a team. It seemed like a lot of the girls were impacting the game from scoring to active hands. There were so many deflection tip balls, steals, forcing jump balls. Everyone played a big part. And then we had some freshmen come in, ball out, score some points. As a senior, how does that make you feel to see some of the younger girls come in and play so well?
Oh, I love it. I was jumping up and down on the bench when Avery hit that 3 and Becca made that shot. Oh, I just love watching the underclassmen play. It's my favorite.
That's so fun. It also made it 67, which we know that was a big deal too, you know?
Went crazy after the game.
It was so fun. So as the first game's over, as you kind of process it, what's your feeling right now?
I feel so good about that first game. I think we came out and obviously we were a little slow, but then we built it up and started playing together, and I just felt really good about it. And I'm excited to play Kingfisher next Tuesday. I think that'll be a good booster for our next game. So I'm excited.
Yeah, Luke, I'll give it to you in just a second. One more question. After processing this game, what would you say you learned?
Let's go, Ray!
Coach Saylor yelling into the mic. Reese had such a good game. What would you say now looking back, hey, this is what I learned about me, or this is what I learned about the team after game one?
About me, I would say, honestly, it's my first game back since my injury. So it was really exciting getting back on the court. And my confidence was a lot better, which is kind of surprising since I haven't played in so long. But I think that first game doing well really helped me build that up so I can keep getting better throughout the season. And then as a team, I think the better we move the ball and pass it together, the better we play. And that really showed from first half to the second half. So
that's awesome. Luke's up here. Luke, you got anything? I think he's just waving, saying he's good.
My mic was muted. Sorry. Hey, great job tonight. That was a lot of fun to watch for a first game. I'm excited to catch y'all on the next one. Kingfisher, I've heard, is really good, so I'm super excited for that one. Do you have, anything you want to say just about that game coming up, like the way you're approaching it right now?
Well, we don't have a game plan yet. I'm sure we'll be talking about it the next 4 days or 3 days before our game. But I know that they're a very highly competitive team. They're going to be aggressive and move the ball around, and we're going to have to play really good defense. So,
yeah, I would say it's a good opening test for you because you played a pretty aggressive team here tonight in crossings, and you handled it well. Your shot fallen, you played really good, but kudos to you on the defensive side too. You were hustling. You had to guard BB a lot, who was one of their best players. The whole team defensively was really locked in, and you included in that. I thought you did a really good job. So great job, Reese.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Luke, anything else?
Good job again. Thank you for doing the interview.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Reese.
Listening back, I think I could have framed my question a little bit better. I definitely could have posed that a little better. Oh, well, we're all improving. But that was Reese Harris, senior, wears number 12. She had a great game, obviously, and she mentioned a lot of the shots that a lot of people were taking were actually very quality, but it took until the second half. They actually started off fairly slow, especially from beyond the arc. But once they got that falling, it was a completely different game. They lit up the scoreboard. So women's basketball, again, through just one game, but they could be a powerhouse in the 4A scene, especially if the three-point shot keeps landing like it did that game. Let's hear one more from women's before we go to break.
I am joined by Allie Lynn here down at the scorer's table. Well, Allie, great start. Actually, the first quarter was a little rough. The trap was kind of impacting us, but then some kind of flipped, or the switch was flipped, and we played so solid the second quarter and the second half. What happened there in the change?
Well, I think just it being our first game and stuff, the nerves are all there, and I think it just took us a minute to get started, really. Once we kind of felt our groove and got the points going, I think it was good from there.
Listen, I know you want to celebrate with your team, but boy, what an exciting thing. So many girls scored, so many played well. What's your vibe of overall how the team did?
Oh, it was a great first game. I really did. Great way to start out the season. And we scored 67 points.
6-7, right? How your shot looks great. Should it be the shoes? Is it the shoes?
Yeah, it is the shoes. It is.
Okay, you dedicate this game to anyone tonight?
My dad.
All right, well, you're our player of the game. Thank you, Allie Lynn, for joining us. Go celebrate with your teammates. All right, Luke, that was Allie Lynn. Had a heck of a game. We could have picked a lot of different players, but she was one of the standouts tonight with a host of other Lady Broncos.
And that brings us right back here at the end of segment number 1. So you just heard John Hickman's interview with Allie Lynn. So John was sitting down by the scorer's table at that game, so that's why he was able to grab people so easily. Unfortunately, was way above the visitor stands, but I had a nice bird's eye view. It was pretty good. But, yeah, that women's game was a lot of fun. The final for it was 67-41 over Crossings Christian. So they're going to keep, looking to extend that gap and get it just started a little bit earlier. I think is something that they are going to prioritize here, coming out of the gates a little bit hotter than what they did in that Crossings game. But I'm sure it'll go very well for them. Again, they've got an extremely strong team again, so I'm eager to see them come back. It should be a fun one. But we're at the end of segment number 1 now. We've gone the full 30 minutes. It's just past 5 o'clock, so I got to tell you a little bit more about Chelino's. Chelino's Mexican Restaurants is at 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. They've been serving Oklahoma since 1989. It's time for Chelino's. You can enjoy their setup of chips, quesos, salsa, and freshly made tortillas while you get ready to order. $8.99 enchilada night tonight, and that gets you such great meals like the enchilada dinner, enchilada suites, the avocado enchiladas, or maybe Marcelo's enchiladas. That's 3 cheese and onion enchiladas with your choice of sauce and topped with diced fajita beef or fajita chicken. Lots of great options on that menu. We're here with the game plan at Chelino's 2-hour version. We're going until 6:30 tonight. We will be back after this commercial break, folks. Don't go anywhere.
At the home of the Gotta Have It, you'll find Apple Tree Antique Gallery, located in the heart of downtown Bethany at 6740 Northwest 39th Expressway. Enjoy spacious shopping with up to 77 unique vendors across more than 10,000 square feet, offering everything from jewelry and clothing to one-of-a-kind treasures and so much more. Don't miss our third Friday weekend specials every month. And yes, we're open Sundays. Call us at 495-0602. Apple Tree Antique Gallery in Bethany, home of the Gotta Have It.
This is Blake Nightingale State Farm, your local insurance agent over at 7304 Northwest Expressway. Here to tell you more about the business is Blake himself.
Hi, my name is Blake Nightingale, State Farm insurance agent located at 7304 Northwest Expressway here in Oklahoma City. I've been a State Farm agent since 2018. We've got 5 licensed staff members here, and we do everything from auto, home, life insurance, and health insurance. And we're real passionate about helping people. And we love youth sports, and we sponsor a lot of local teams here. And so, like I always tell people, like a good neighbor, we're here to help you.
Just like you heard from Blake, Blake Nightingale State Farm is here to help you protect what's important to you, because your car and home aren't just things. They're where you make your memories. Visit Blake and his friendly staff at 7304 Northwest Expressway and call them at 405-728-1313. Like a good neighbor, Blake Nightingale is there.
C&J Sporting Goods at 6604 Northwest 38th Street has been serving Bethany and the Metro for over 30 years, with 3 generations ready to serve you with the best shopping experience of product knowledge and customer service anywhere, with a wide selection of guns, ammo, ear and eye protection, law and enforcement equipment, hunting, camping, and survival gear. If they don't have it, they will order it for you. Veteran owned and family operated. Call 405-789-8102. C&J Sporting Goods.
Learn about nursing and long-term care at CNA Training Academy, 7463 Northwest 23rd Street. Mary Chikwuma offers affordable, useful, and flexible classes every day that will teach you the foundations of medical care. Mary Chikwuma has been teaching her class for 18 years and is eager to teach you. Understand vital signs, train for and be hired as a PCA, and learn about caring for patients in nursing homes, hospitals, assisted living situations, and more at CNA Training Academy. Call 405-315-1357 and ask about financial qualifications. CNA Training Academy is open to all ages and has classes on the weekend and in the evenings as well. Call CNA now, 405-315-1357, and join classes of people learning about nursing and inspiring each other daily. And we welcome you back here to the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. This is Luke Young live from Chelino's Mexican Restaurant out here in Yukon, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. It's the 2-hour version of the show that we do on the first Wednesday of every month. One of the great locations we love to work with. Chelino's out here serving Oklahoma again since 1989. It's all local, been here forever. The people know it, we love it. We're always excited to come back out every time we get the chance. It's $8.99 enchilada night, of course, and that is the big draw for tonight. Now, their holiday hours are posted. They will be closed on Christmas Day, but I believe the day after they will be back open. I didn't take a picture of it. I should have, or else I could give you those hours for sure. But just look out for yourself. If you want to find out about those hours, you can go to the website chelinos.com. You can also choose your location, so if you're not around Yukon, you can still find a Chelino's near you. But again, it's $8.99 enchilada night. You can see the dining area on this side of the restaurant has started to fill up a little bit. Everybody getting in here for their great enchilada meals. You could try Nino's favorite enchiladas. That is 2 cheese and onion enchiladas topped with chili sauce and 2 eggs your way. Do you like eggs on your enchilada? That was always a new one by me, but the more I read it, I guess the more used to it I get because it doesn't shock me quite as bad anymore. But still, it's a fan favorite, obviously. I mentioned that it's marked with a special icon. A lot of these are. So Nina's favorite enchiladas actually appears to be marked with the blue new recipe menu item. So while there are actually 4 of these, it's new recipe, spicy, favorite, or new item. So they kind of cycle. You've got a bunch of different items on the menu on a bunch of different locations, a bunch of different segments of the menu because the menu is pretty segmented off here. But if for some reason you're not in the mood for the enchiladas, you got your choice of tacos, burritos. They've got a little bit of seafood, nachos in there as well. And, of course, my favorite enchiladas. That is far from all they have on this Chelino's menu. So stop by yourself. They are open until 9 p.m. tonight. And on Fridays and Saturdays, they are open until 10. The doors open in the mornings at 10:30 a.m. So it'll be 10:30 to 9 Sunday through Thursday, 10:30 to 10 Friday and Saturday. All right, well, as we get back into this segment, we're going to talk about some college sports here, both local and at the statewide level. Almost said national, but not quite for college, at the state level. Let's start with my alma mater, Southwestern Christian University, since we're going out there for their basketball games tomorrow. Stay tuned on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk and the SAC Sports Network for Southwestern Christian University Eagles basketball. It's College of the Ozarks from Missouri coming into town. Women's tips off at 6 p.m., men's at 8 p.m. I'll be out there on the call. Should be a lot of fun. The women's lost their first time around, and the men's won. It was kind of the opposite of Bethany, but it wasn't without again, I almost said heartache. That's not the right word. It wasn't without its fireworks. The women's had a very good game, but the men's waited until the very end to make an astounding comeback against Mid-America Christian University to begin conference play. And we are expecting a lot of that to continue because I believe men's basketball, since playing that game, went on a little bit of a run. I'm going to pull up their schedule real quick and double-check that. But 4-4 right now. They have dropped the last 2, but following that Mid-America game, they went out and got a win against the University of Science and Arts. And they only lost these 2 non-conference matches. They come back home against College of the Ozarks to restart conference play, and those are always the games you want to win. So it's Ozarks on the 4th, John Brown University on the 6th. I unfortunately can't be at John Brown because we got high school football championships to call. But then they will play on the 8th, the 11th, the 13th, before finally ending the month of December in Houston, Texas, taking on Rice University on the 17th. That's what basketball is looking like at this point in the year. Southern Nazarene University has also been doing their own thing right down the road. Their football season is over, but their basketball seasons are in full swing as well. Their football team went 2-9 this year. It wasn't a great year for Southern Nazarene football, but their basketball team at this point in time, as I pull up their records, we'll look at the men's first, I believe. The men's is 6-0 on a 6-game, obviously, win streak that kicked off with the University of Jamestown before beating Northern State University, Missouri Western State, Northeastern State, and then Cameron University and Rogers State University back in the Southern Nazarene University Conference Challenge. That's a lot of saying universities and states right there. But they come back tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. they're away. They're at Southern Arkansas University to begin the Great American Conference basketball play for the men's. In this conference, they play Southern Arkansas, University of Arkansas, Monticello, East Central, and Ada, who we're going to be at for that Tuttle semifinals game. Southwestern Oklahoma State, Northwestern Oklahoma State, Southeastern Oklahoma State, among a few others. So that's men's basketball again, a 6-0 start to the season for the men's. Women's basketball, we're going to pull up their schedule right now and check in on how they are doing. They are unfortunately 0-4 to start the season, with their conference play obviously starting tomorrow as well. They took losses to Texas Women's University, who is ranked number 6 in the nation, Lubbock Christian University, who is ranked number 7 in the nation, Texas Permian Basin by 2 points, and Missouri Southern by 10. They've got Southern Arkansas as well. They tip off at 5:30 p.m. So women's basketball will look to get in the win column for the first time for the Crimson Storm tomorrow night. We'll be keeping an eye on that one. Might give some live updates on it. We'll see what we can do about that as well. But if you're talking about college, obviously, college football right now is in championship week. And if you haven't been keeping up with the discourse over the playoff rankings and who's going to be in and who's going to be out, it has been a lot of Texas crying. It has been a lot of Vanderbilt making their case. And it has been a lot of, I believe, Miami making their case as well. So we'll go through them real quick. You know, I pulled up the college football playoffs right now. It's Week 15. The prediction sees Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, and Texas Tech in the top 4, with Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, and Notre Dame rounding out the next 6, with conference champion, you know, getting in there to face Oregon, and a conference champion being in there to face Ole Miss. That has yet to be played, obviously. ACC, Group of 5, you know, that all is yet to be determined. Which, speaking of, University of North Texas and James Madison University are ranked in the top 25 currently. For the University of North Texas, it is their first time ever being nationally ranked, like in the history of their program ever. They are number 24 in the college football playoff ranking. So, hey, congratulations to the North Texas Mean Green. That's pretty cool. I mean, we're literally witnessing history right there. I would have never guessed that UNT would be ranked based on what I knew about them, but here we are. We live in the world where the Mean Green are ranked. And we also live in a world where Vanderbilt is flipping commitments from Alabama and Georgia to Vandy. You know, that's a thing as well. But before I get too far off track, the ACC is a CFP playing game. That's the conference championship I was talking about. It's number 24 North Texas and number 20 Tulane. Friday, 8 p.m. on ABC. Now, the reason this is important, obviously, is because it could keep some other big names out of the playoffs. I believe, if I am not mistaken, this is one of the ones that could force Miami to be on the outside. Miami is ranked, like, number 12 currently? Like, right behind, it's 12 or 11. It's, like, right behind Notre Dame, right ahead of Texas, which we'll talk about Texas as well. But for, again, one of the rare occurrences that the ACC championship, man, what a fun. American Conference Championship playing game. Who would have guessed? But speaking on Texas, obviously, they've been, and I use the word crying, but they have been very vocal with their opinion that they should be in the playoffs, and I disagree. I disagree on the precedent that a three-loss team does not make it into the college football playoffs. And although they did get the nice win against A&M, it came too late in the season. Texas has lost to too many teams that number 3 win doesn't, bump them back in. It's a good win. Don't get me wrong, but they did lose to Florida very early on, which held them back. And even in the CFP voting's own opinions, that holds them back. I don't see it for them, right? They're behind Miami right now because they lost to Florida and Miami beat Florida. They're still technically in the mix, but it's not looking great. I mean, they also lost to Georgia. There's a top-tier, high-name, high-level loss for Texas there as well. Again, even though they did beat Oklahoma, and it's always on the neutral side, people point to that. Oklahoma came back and got 3 ranked wins in a row at the end of the season against strong opponents. I just don't see it for Texas happening. I don't think they really have a case, unlike the University of Virginia. I think Virginia absolutely has more of a case here than Texas does. let's go ahead and look them up right here. As of right now, Virginia would still be in. If they win, okay, I'll read this straight from ESPN. The ACC championship game will feature Virginia and Duke. And, I think I was saying earlier ACC. The AC is American Conference. That's UNT and Tulane. The ACC championship game is Virginia and Duke. If Duke wins, the ACC could be completely out of the playoffs. But if Virginia wins, they'll be a lock. They are a 2-loss team ranked top 20. And Virginia does have some good wins. I mean, already talking about how they're flipping recruits. They beat Duke. I'm trying to find – I'll look up their schedule real quick if I can, but I don't know if they'll let me from this page. But Virginia did beat Duke, who they are, again, going up against, which is why if Duke wins, no one will make it. So Duke might as well throw at that point. But Virginia, I think, has more of a case than Texas does at this point. And I think, honestly, Virginia has more of a case than maybe even the Fighting Irish. Maybe. Notre Dame lost to Miami and lost to Texas A&M, both, top teams to kick off the season. And then since then, they hadn't really played anybody. That's the thing about the Fighting Irish being an independent, they don't play anybody. Everybody's talking about how cupcake games are scheduled and prioritized, but they're really, I disagree. What is Notre Dame's, they use the term a signature win. What is Notre Dame's signature win? Is it 49-10 over Navy? Is it, I don't know, 34-24 over Southern Cal? Like 28-7 over Boise State? I don't know. They don't have one. I don't know if I would put Notre Dame in over Miami when Miami has already beat Notre Dame. That was 27-24 to start the season. And then again, Notre Dame comes back and lost to A&M. They lost to the only 2 ranked teams they play. I don't think the Fighting Irish should be in the playoffs. They're right now ranked number 10. They're the last of that, at large, not counting conference championships here. If I'm a voter, I'm leaving Notre Dame out. I'm sorry, I just am. I don't think they have earned the right to be in the college football playoffs. But, see, that's the thing about the college football playoffs is that everybody hates it. No matter who you are, when you are, where you are, you hate the college football playoffs right now. And the tough question is, well, if it's so bad, man, how do we fix it? And to be honest with you, I don't know if there is a way. I don't know how we would go about fixing the college football playoff rankings. It obviously does start, though, with the voters themselves. A lot of voters in recent, especially on the AP side, have come under heavy fire for not actually watching a lot of the games or a lot of the teams they're voting on. And don't get me wrong, like no one person can watch every college football game every week. It's impossible. But they do need to rearrange how the voting process works. I think one thing they could consider is designation. Designating a group of people to watching so many teams or a conference, something like that. Have a group of people dedicated to the SEC, a group of people maybe dedicated to the Big 12, and kind of splitting it up based on conference to get rankings there first, and then have a group that looks at all of them and makes that decision. But I guess maybe even that way, again, I'm far from pro on this. Even that way, you still got to have someone on the top who's making decisions about every team. Now, maybe they could refine that, right? Maybe there's a way, but I don't know. I don't know if the playoff system we have right now can be fixed in a good enough way. I don't know if there is a way to get this working without completely reinventing it, blowing it up and starting over. But again, that's a question for someone far smarter than me, I guess. Maybe someone far more involved than I am. And since we're still talking about college football, Indiana is going to the Big Ten championship game for the first time in their program's history. They have 12 wins this year. They are obviously, I mentioned them, number 2. They've earned a bye so far. Who do they play, actually? That's a very good question. Who does Indiana play? Do they play a championship game right now? Both Indiana and Ohio State are CFP locks. Even if they lose the title game, losers' only loss will be a top 2 team. Could fall behind Georgia. Okay, got it. So they are playing. I believe Ohio State and Indiana are playing in the title game. That's what it is. So whoever loses that one, and it's one losing to two or two losing to one, oh well, big whoop. They're both still going to be in it. So they've got, Indiana took care of business this year. They did their thing, and they have more than earned their right to be in the playoffs. It does have a lot of meaning for Oregon, though, who's the other team mentioned. The Ducks punctuated, I'm quoting again ESPN, punctuated their resume with a respectable win at Washington and should be secure in their playoff position. They are getting a boost after A&M lost, which is why they currently sit at number 5 and not maybe a little bit lower. That A&M lost, throwing a wrench in a lot of things, and moved Texas Tech into the top 4. I was hoping that Oklahoma would be able to draw a bracket where they're number 7 and wouldn't have to play potentially Ohio State if they make it out of the first round, but it didn't work out that way. The last thing I'm going to mention on the college sports side as we head towards break is the coaching situation. Lane Kiffin has obviously accepted the job at LSU. He's going down to Louisiana, but it's not without its drama, obviously. I'll speak on that in a second. First, I'll go through some more. Alex Golish will be the next coach at Auburn. I'm looking through them real quick. LSU, there's Kiffin again. I've got a lot of ways that I saved these, so you got to give me a second to go through them all. All right, here we go. Ryan Silverfield is going to Arkansas, John Summerall going to Florida, and Pete Golding elevated at Ole Miss. And by the way, Ole Miss not dropped any points after Kiffin left. Lane Kiffin securing the bag at LSU, but a lot is coming out about him and his time at Ole Miss. I thought, honestly, he would have stayed to try and coach them the rest of the season, but based on what I'm hearing, the players don't like him. The coaches might not have liked him. He was apparently doing some pretty shady stuff at times, which, again, I'm not going to speak on too much, but I do know that he has a little bit of a history, and he has a little bit of a reputation. And it looks like that hasn't gone anywhere as the dirty laundry starts to come to light after his move out. So it'll just be something to keep an eye on, obviously. Now with Pete Golding, defensive coordinator, at the helm, I do wonder if Ole Miss will be the same or if they will have a slightly different identity as we get into the playoffs. I think that'll be a very, very interesting question to ask. We've seen now that defensive-minded head coaches can succeed. Brent Venables. It's rare, but it can happen. So I'm still of the opinion that Ole Miss will be fine. They do have a very talented roster. What happens to Kiffin next in LSU? Because LSU now has to make this work. They have offered too much money, gone through too much of an issue, getting to this point in the year, getting to be able to have a head coach. They can't make a mistake with this. If Lane Kiffin is the wrong guy, LSU is out of the conversation for potentially years. I mean, just look at Penn State right now. Penn State has arguably the worst recruiting class in the country after all of their drama earlier this year. The wrong head coach, the wrong handling of a situation can absolutely decimate a program like that. Penn State isn't going to recover. They've got like 2 commits remaining, and I think they're both 3-star. I don't think they definitely don't have a single 5-star recruit remaining, but I don't think they have any 4-star recruits remaining. Penn State is in the dumps. LSU has to be very careful. I'm not going to say anything about LSU's future until we see it, because there's just too much up in the air to me. I don't even know at this point if Lane Kiffin is really going to attract the kind of talent they want. If he gets anybody, it'll be because, okay, he did really good with Ole Miss. But if he goes there and then we start to see these headlines pop up again, hey, he's not the best guy, he's doing some shady stuff. I mean, trust me, there's a lot of stuff I'm not mentioning on air right now about Kiffin. If this happened and LSU, worst case scenario, has to move on, Tigers are screwed. I'm sorry. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but they are. If that's what happens, they're done for. For how long, I don't know. How they rebound, I don't know, but they'd be done for. The other universities, obviously, are very interesting as well. Auburn gets their new guy. Florida gets their new guy after a disappointing season. Silverfield over at Arkansas. I mean, there will be a lot of storylines to keep up with next year as well, but that is next year. We do have to keep it a little bit reined in as we get into the playoffs. Again, the final bracket looking like Tech, State, Georgia, and Indiana will lock up the top 4. And again, say Indiana loses to Ohio State, I don't even think they fall out of the top 4, frankly. I don't see how they would put Oregon above Indiana with the year Indiana has had. But the next the next phase is Oregon, Alabama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, and A&M currently with 2 conference champions yet to be decided. I still think Notre Dame should make it, but we'll see how the last week develops. Notre Dame is done. They played their last game. It was against Stanford back on the 29th. They are over with. Their record is locked in at 10-2. It's just I still can't get over, how do you rank an independent team that has not played anybody past the first month, and the 2 ranked teams they did play, they lost to? I'm sorry. I don't see how Notre Dame can be in. I think that is more so than Texas being out, maybe even more so than Virginia being left out. I think Notre Dame being in is the biggest mistake CFB could make at this point. But, again, that's just me. I'm just a sports host guy out at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant in Yukon, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. We're approaching 5:30 p.m., and you can see the people are filing in behind me, eager to get their great Mexican dinners. And you should stop by as well, because it's $8.99 enchilada night. Here at Chelino's, it's locally owned and a fan favorite. We've talked a lot about their specials, but they've also got burritos. One thing I'm considering getting today is the normal burrito, which is just a flour tortilla filled with shredded chicken or beef, beans, and topped with your choice of sauce. Very simple, but very delicious. And I had quesadillas earlier today. I'm kind of feeling something different. I know it's crazy for me to say, but I'm not feeling the quesadilla today, and I almost can't believe it. But, hey, I might try something different by the time I get out of here. Who knows? We've still got an hour left on our show. We're going to move into some professional and breaking news in our next segment, so we invite you to stick around. We are live on the gospelstation.com, scroll Sports and Talk, and on our Facebook page, Gospel Station Sports and Talk there as well. If you are watching this right now, we want to thank you. And if you are watching this in the future, we want to thank you for coming back. Every view matters to us, right? Every time you come and watch our stuff, it helps us out a little bit, and we're very appreciative of it. Subscribe to GSN Sports and Talk on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. Do all that kind of stuff. And I will see you after break.
Step up to the next level at Coyote Pond, home with a $20 FFL transfer. Coyote Pond at 5804 Northwest 63rd and MacArthur makes the difference in customer service with a selection of just about everything with top dollar loans and rock bottom prices. Locally owned and operated, Coyote Pond is the destination headquarters for Bethany, Yukon, and Oklahoma City, and the home of the $20 FFL transfers. Call 405-470-7999 or go to coyotepond.com. That's 405-470-7999. and coyotepond.com.
Do it best at Evans Hardware. Since 1965, Evans Hardware has provided Midwest City with top-quality home improvement supplies and a one-of-a-kind shopping experience. At 1021 South Douglas Boulevard, Evans Hardware is family-owned and has the right products for every situation, including DIY projects, professional contracting, or quick fixes. Their satisfaction guarantee and quick turnarounds mean you'll always find what you need. So visit Evans Hardware in Midwest City.
Or call 405-732-1898. That's 405-732-1898.
Evans Hardware in Midwest City.
We are Integrity Heating, Air, and Plumbing, in business for over 40 years. We provided top-notch service for every company and residential home in the area. Let's take a look inside and let you meet some people.
Hey, Blaine. Good morning. Here we have a part of our call center. This is Tina. That's Gabby. That's our general manager, BJ. Our office hours are from 7:30 to 7:30, Monday through Friday, and we do heating and air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical. Give us a call. We always have specials. Our number one priority is your family, constant comfort, and convenience. We offer 24-hour service.
And in order for us to do that, we fully stock everything here at our warehouse. Whether it's commercial or residential, we offer plumbing, heating and air, and electrical full services. All of our guys are licensed, we're bonded and insured.
Here at Integrity, we offer senior discounts, military discounts, and public service discounts.
You worked hard for us, so let us work hard for you.
Yeah, go Broncos.
Now open at 5801 West Britain Road. It's Himador Mexican Grill. Order at Himador Mexican Grill and be treated to a spacious dining area, friendly staff, and delicious Mexican dishes. Fajitas, quesadillas, seafood, vegetarian meals, they've got it all at Himador Mexican Grill, 5801 West Britain Road. With different lunch and dinner specials every day and great prices, Himador Mexican Grill is the place to be. They open at 11 a.m. every day and come by starting August 30th to get some drinks at the brand new bar. The people love Himador Mexican Grill, and you will too. Call 405-367-7274 or email himadorgrill5801@gmail.com to reserve your table. Himador Mexican Grill is eager to serve you. 5801 West Britain Road, and call 405-367-7274.
And we welcome you back here from break. We are at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant at 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. You'll have to excuse me for a second if I seem a little bit distracted. I just got a letter, or rather my parents back home got a letter from my college diploma, potentially. I think my diploma was just mailed, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, how about that? How about that for some breaking news? My bachelor's degree. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, anyways, we are at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard in Yukon. Call 405-350-2006 to get a hold of the restaurant. They've got delivery services, dine-in, take-out. They're right in the Chisholm Shopping Center right here off of South Garth Brooks Boulevard. Great location, easy to get to, plenty of parking. It's spacious, it's clean, and the people love it. $8.99 enchilada night here at Chelino's, one of our favorite times to come by. First Wednesday of the month, we do this show monthly, and you know we'll be back in January as well. But for Chelino's, again, $8.99 enchilada night. That gets you such meals such as the enchilada dinner, enchilada sweets, Nino's favorite, Marcelo's enchiladas, the avocado enchiladas. But if for some reason you're not in the mood for it, I've talked about it plenty of times, but how about the quesadilla? I've heard that is very popular as well, and that's at a lot of different Mexican restaurants as well, not just Chelino's. Quesadillas apparently are a well-known thing. I've never had one myself. Someday I may try that too, whenever I decide to branch out on my palate again, but we'll see that. We are in our last hour, our final two segments here on the Game Plan. Luke Young broadcasting live, again from Chelino's. It's always great, but we're going to talk about some pro sports now. We've covered all our local and college news, so it's time to get into the professional scene. The first thing I want to talk about, of course, is the National Football League. It's not playoff times quite yet for the NFL, but there's still plenty of news to talk about. And breaking news from just before the show started. Cornerback Darius Slay just got claimed off of waivers by the Buffalo Bills. Slay has played both now for the Eagles and the Steelers. Apparently, get this, he played against the Bills last week and is a part of the team this week. And it's funny how that happens. He is not escaping the snow anytime soon, although I don't imagine he minds too much. But when it comes to talking NFL, obviously I have a lot of notes written down here. Dallas and Kansas City broke the viewership record for an NFL game back on Thanksgiving, and we're going to talk about that a little bit and just kind of what it means for the league. Everybody knows that Dallas is America's team, right? We always bring in high viewership. Kansas City, even on a down year though, just their own star power is still obviously attracting viewers. I'm pulling up the exact number right here for you. It was 57.2 million viewers, most watched regular season game in NFL history. It beat the previous record by 15 million viewers. 42.1 million was the previous record. Man, 57.2 million people watched the Cowboys beat the Chiefs in a thriller. And the Cowboys are still technically in the hunt. They're still in the conversation. Philadelphia, I think, lost their last game, right? They lost it against the Bears. So there is still a chance for Dallas. It's not a great chance, but there is a chance. Dallas comes back for Thursday Night Football tomorrow against Detroit. That, I think, will be a very good test for Dallas as well, as if they need to be tested more. They've got a pretty tough end of schedule, to be honest with you folks, but the Dallas Cowboys, they're in such a weird spot right now where they've got a chance, but I almost want to say they don't really still have a chance. I don't know. Yeah, the Eagles lost to the Bears 24-15. Chicago has kind of shown off that they are a top team in the league now. Caleb Williams at the helm. He hasn't had a lot of passing touchdowns this year, but the team has been very good in a lot of other ways. Now, I thought they would take that next step. It wasn't quite the way I thought they would, but I would say they are improving. But this year in the NFL, man, if you were to ask someone who the best team is, there's maybe 2 teams you could say, and maybe 3 teams you could say are the best teams, and you could debate every single one of them. Bears, Patriots, Rams, maybe that's it. I legitimately don't know if there's another team I would throw into that conversation right now. I guess maybe you could make a case for Philadelphia, but again, they just lost to Chicago, and they lost to Dallas a little bit earlier, so I'm legitimately not sure who the best team in the league is right now, and I think that's very healthy for the league. I think it is time that we get back to where it could be anybody's year, and it's not going to be the Eagles 2-peating. It's not going to be the Chiefs 3-peating. It's not going to be the same teams over and over. But that being said, I don't want to go back to the Patriots dynasty. That being said, we could do without the Patriots again. I'm not a Boston fan in football. Dallas, though, I'll go back to them. When it talks about MVP race, you got to throw Dak Prescott's name in there. Obviously, maybe a few more interceptions than people would like. People always dog on him for regular season success and postseason lack of success. I think this could be the year, if they do make it to the postseason, where we could see Dallas, just based on this offense alone, go past the first round. But Dallas isn't the complete team that you want to be going in, to the late half of the year, getting ready for playoffs. I don't think Dallas is the complete team that would be able to make a run for a Super Bowl. I don't think it's going to be Dallas's year. How many more games they win is a very interesting question. Again, we've got Detroit coming up, and that will be a very, very fun one. Detroit is on a little bit of a down year themselves, so they are very vulnerable right now. That is absolutely a game that Dallas could win. And speaking about fantasy, I think this is another good week to start Dak Prescott. But I might give my fantasy advice a little bit later on in this segment. But Prescott, again, he's top 2 in the league in every major QB stat right now. The guy has been balling out, and he obviously just became the team leader in comebacks. When we say Dak doesn't get help, that is what we mean. When you have to be the team leader in comebacks to get any kind of success, especially this season, when the field does feel a little bit weaker in a lot of ways. Man, he's a good quarterback. He just needs it needs to come together at the same time. They need Dak and the defense to be good at the same time. And I mean, really, truly top of the line good, like Dak and the offense is right now, for Dallas to have that kind of success. But I don't think this is going to be the year, unfortunately. I'm going to go through real quick and see if I can just find a quick little information about Dak's stats and where he ranks among all quarterbacks in the league. Let's see. Here we go. This one will work. NFL on Prime Video. Second in the NFL in passing yards, tied for second in the NFL in passing touchdowns. He's first in passing yards per game, first in completion, and first in quarterback rating. If you're talking MVP, you've got what? Drake May, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, and beyond them, I'm not really sure. It helps when you're throwing to arguably the 2 best receivers in the league in George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, which is always nice. And I say arguably because people do get up in arms about that when you've got other players like Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's very, very good. Let's see, NFL MVP. Let's just look it up real quick and see what the names are that people are throwing around. Drake May, Stafford. May is apparently now the favorite. Prescott is up there. Looks like, oh, this is quarterback efficiency. This is the wrong thing. Prescott is still up there, though. Jordan Love, Josh Allen. Surprisingly, Daniel Jones still up there after the Colts are gone on a little bit of a skid. Drake May is the favorite. Dak Prescott currently ranks number 3. So there you go. There you go. Stafford is ranked number 2. I don't know. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased, but I would give it to Prescott. But I won't lie to you. I'm biased. I know. Current playoff picture sees Dallas out of it. It does see Philadelphia again winning the NFC East. NFL playoff picture real quick. But let's take a second while we're bringing this up. And I might talk about some fantasy for a little bit. I don't really talk about fantasy a lot. And then we'll go back to, like, current schedule. As my internet, again, goes back on the fritz. Hopefully that will calm down. Patriots sit atop the AFC with a 10-2 record, right ahead of the Denver Broncos. Let's see. The Colts are going to be in there. The Steelers, surprisingly, may be in there again because they're always in there for some reason. I don't know. NFC sees the Rams and the Bears on top with the Eagles and the Bucks. That's right. I forgot about the Buccaneers behind. But Dallas on the outside looking in. I'm seeing Seattle, Green Bay, and San Francisco. Also teams thrown around in this prediction. So Dallas definitely needs a lot of help, but there is still a chance. Now, again, I'm a little bit distracted because I'm dealing with a lot of tech stuff right now while doing this stream. I don't even frankly know if this is playing on Facebook. Facebook is not giving me much currently, so hopefully it is, and hopefully we're all right, but frankly I just don't know. This week of NFL games, again, it's Cowboys and Lions tomorrow. The Lions are favored, but I think if Dallas wins this one, this is, the step in the right direction. The Bengals and the Bills play. That should be a Bills win. Even with Joe Burrow back, I think the Bills probably still win this one. The 8-4 Colts take on the 8-4 Jaguars. That should be a good one. The Jaguars have been kind of a quietly good team, and I think they actually do have a chance to be that dark horse team this year. The Broncos have the Raiders. That should be an easy win for the Broncos. The Bears and the Packers, Sunday night. That's the 9-3 Bears taking on the 8-3-1 Packers. That will be, out of all of the games this week, the game to watch. Jordan Love and Caleb Williams going head-to-head. I've already spoken about the Bears, but Jordan Love and the Packers, since that tie against the Cowboys, have kind of come back out and proven that they do belong in that conversation. And Love has been throwing to some pretty good receivers. Christian Watson is the name that comes to mind. He is actually leading. I don't know about leading, but he's like top of the league in a lot of wide receiver metrics, including touchdowns, I believe. So they have had a good connection this year. And I just think it speaks to Dallas's offense that they were able to hang with them again, frankly. If we could just get like one defensive stop, and if it didn't win in overtime, or it didn't end in overtime, maybe. But maybe. Jacksonville is a very good run defense team, so the Colts might struggle to get Jonathan Taylor going again. We've seen that a couple of times from them. They're going to have to rely, I think, pretty heavily on Daniel Jones' play, and he's been a little bit more inconsistent, slightly more inconsistent, but I'm still not worrying about it just yet. Looking at fantasy this week, again, I mentioned if you have Dak Prescott, I think you should start him. I think he has cemented himself as a week-in, week-out fantasy lock. My lineup sees Prescott and Pickens from the Cowboys. I am running with the Buccaneers defense against a very low-powered New Orleans offense. I don't know if they're really, predicted to have the most points, but I think that is absolutely a game that the Buccaneers defense could go off on. The Colts defense wouldn't be a bad choice either. Daniel Jones is getting a soft Jacksonville, blanked on the word, soft Jacksonville secondary. He's predicted to put up 17.24, but he doesn't come close to Prescott's 20.31. I think Dak Prescott is clearly the starter. If you do have him, you should probably play him over just about everybody. Going through the list right now, I'm going to speak a lot about my players, obviously. To give you an idea on my fantasy team, Prescott, Taylor, Travis Etienne Jr., Jamar Chase, George Pickens, Trey McBride. I have Michael Wilson, also from Arizona, currently in my flex, but that might change. The Buccaneers, and Brandon McManus, Green Bay's kicker currently. That's my starting roster this week. I am predicted to get over 130 points in my league. So I would say, again, my flex is going to be interesting. I think there are a lot of good flex options this week. For me, I'm seeing if Omarion Hampton comes back off the injured reserve. If you have Omarion Hampton on your team in fantasy, this week he could be making his return, and it's predicted. I know a lot of people are expecting him to get back in the starting role. He has been in practice. He's been apparently working out to the side, building up his reps. So I don't think an official designation has been made yet. Let's see. When asked Wednesday about the potential return of Hampton for Monday night's game against the Eagles, Jim Harbaugh said that question will be answered as the week unfolds. But what I can tell you, he's on track and looking good. He's got a long week. Obviously, they don't play until Monday, so he's got a lot of time to get back. I think Omarion Hampton could be a good flex option, right? Not the main guy you want to rely on for points, as he will be coming off an injury, but I think he is actually a very decent flex option at this. And again, it's late in the fantasy season. You're not going to have a lot of time, so you do need to be locking in your rosters pretty quickly. Let's see here. I might go back and see if I can go and look at all the players and see who is predicted to get the most. Okay, unsurprisingly, Jahmyr Gibbs is expected to torch the Dallas run defense and put up over 24 points. Okay, yeah, that's a lock. Yeah, if you have Jahmyr Gibbs, you're starting him without a shadow of a doubt. Josh Allen, looks like Devon Achane, Jacobs, James Cook III. Those are all good options. Jackson Smith-Jigba is obviously up there. Puka Nacua, obviously another great pickup. He's currently ranked number 4 among wide receivers with the Rams right now. They do play the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are not great on the defensive side, so he'll be another great option. And then it's Dak Prescott. Right there, he's the, second highest ranked quarterback for predicted points in the ESPN Fantasy this week. So even higher than Bijan Robinson and CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Hurts. So again, that just speaks to what I was saying. If you have Dak, start him. If you don't, you've still got some good options. I don't even remember where I was going with this. Oh, yeah, Jared Goff. Jared Goff playing against Dallas could also be a good option. We'll see what they, allow his game plan to be if he's able to use his legs. I just don't know. I don't know. We are still about 10 minutes away here from 6 p.m. When we come back after this, we'll be talking NBA and a little bit of just breaking news from around the league. Around the world. Around the nation? Yeah, that one will work. Around the nation. But I'm actually kind of running out of voice, and apparently things to say as well. So I kind of actually want to circle back a little bit to what I mentioned about commitments being flipped real quick on the college level. So Alabama and Georgia both have now lost commitments to Vanderbilt. It is Alabama losing a wide receiver named Owen Cabell. He's 6'3", 205. He had been committed to Alabama since June, but now he's flipping. It is official that Jared Curtis, the quarterback that was committed to the Georgia Bulldogs, has now signed with Vanderbilt. Officially, as of earlier today, it was announced because it's early signing day or national signing day or whatever. But he's the top-ranked quarterback in the class. OU has, I think, the second-ranked quarterback in this recruiting class coming to the Sooners, which is super good. I'm very happy about that. Don't remember his name off the top of my head, but, just think about it. With Mateer having another year, say he sticks around and then goes on his way, gets ready for the draft, whatnot, you're getting the number 2 ranked quarterback in this class a year to sit and learn the offense and to get familiar with it, and then it's like they don't miss a beat. So I think it's a good sign for OU as a team and OU as an offense that their top recruit has not flipped anywhere else, has not changed his decision. But let's see, anything else? Oh, yeah, here we go. Forgot to mention this. Brian Hartline, Ohio State offensive coordinator, is expected to go coach at South Florida. USF has been in the mix a lot, especially early on this season. So that's a big pickup for the University of South Florida. We might see if their recruiting class takes a bump after that one. Could be something to keep an eye on, of course. This has been the definition of a coaching carousel this year, folks. It really has been. It's honestly been more fun than I thought it would be to try and keep up with it. Josh Allen got his jersey retired. This just popped back up on my thing. He's the first Wyoming football player to have his jersey retired. That was a couple weeks ago now. It was back on like September 22nd, but I never got to talk about it. I do want to mention that here. So, hey, that's pretty cool. Congratulations to Josh Allen. And Cam Scadaboo is still doing whatever he's doing at Arizona State, scooting around on his scooter real quick. He's having fun. I love that guy. I'm not a Giants fan, obviously divisional rival, but I do really like watching Scadaboo play and watching what he's doing off the field. And he and Jackson Dart are homies, and it's awesome to watch. They're a lot of fun. But I'm getting off track again. I got to give my throat a break. I got to go to break. I need a drink. We're live at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant. One more segment coming at you here before we are done with this show. Chelino's serving Oklahoma since 1989. 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. Locations all around the Oklahoma City metro. It's a fan favorite, highly rated, takeout, dine-in, delivery services, and more. Go to chelinos.com to look up your different locations and menus, or call 405-350-2006 to get a hold of the restaurant. $8.99 enchilada night here. Always a good one. Nino's favorite enchiladas, a new recipe and a fan favorite from what I can hear. You might try it. Again, that's the one with eggs on it. If you ever want to try eggs on your enchiladas. That's probably not what I'm going for this week, but we'll see what happens. We got to go to break. Maybe a longer one on this one when we come back, the final segment of our show. Thanks for watching.
John Campbell is your local health market agent that specializes in Medicare. Instead of talking through an 800 number, talk face-to-face with your local agent, John Campbell, to answer all your questions and find the company that best fits your needs. John Campbell Health Market serves Yukon, Bethany, and the surrounding area and will travel across the state of Oklahoma to meet with you. Call John Campbell Health Markets at 405-200-8414. Call 405-200-8414.
Grass Flowers and Decor is rooted in rich history dating back to 1979 in the precious memory of Flowers by Roy. Alicia Rankins and staff have carried the commitment to only offer the finest, unique floral arrangements with same-day delivery locally and nationally. What you envision, we make reality at Lilygrass Flowers and Decor, 7101 Northwest Expressway. Call Lilygrass Flowers and Decor at 721-1813 and begin a new memory.
Polish is total grooming at 836 Garth Brooks in Yukon with 28 years combined experience, including airbrush design, nail caps on dogs and cats, as well as the Bribe Bar and pet photography. It's a dog and cat day out at Polish, and ask about the month's membership that includes a free weekly bathing and 50% off pet grooming. Go to polishgrooming.com or call 405-494-8409. Keep your fur baby happy with expert affordable pet grooming at Polish in Yukon.
Come visit us at Raspado's Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street. We're open year-round, 7 days a week, so come try our delicious crepes, smoothies, and churros. Raspado's Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 405-225-1000. We also serve burgers, tacos, and more. 4571 Northwest 23rd Street. Also on Facebook, Raspado's OKC. That's Raspado's OKC, 405-225-1000.
Who's got the sauce? Zaxby's does. Come by Zaxby's Chicken Fingers and Buffalo Wings at 5859 Northwest Expressway and find out why Zaxby's is Oklahoma's go-to for great chicken meals. Zaxby's has the chicken fingers, the sandwiches, the wings, and the sauce that will leave your mouth watering. Now with the all-new lemon pepper line of meals. Late Night Zax introduces the Zappetizer Trio and keeps the drive-thru open after 8 p.m. So use the Zaxby's app to earn rewards, and remember that Zaxby's will cater your event. Head to 5859 Northwest Northwest Expressway, or call 405-603-8190 to make your Zaxby's order now. 405-603-8190. Zaxby's.
Looking for fast cash without the hassle? At Red River Credit in Oklahoma City, they've got you covered. They offer auto-secured loans up to $3,660, and the best part, no credit check. Need something different? They also provide traditional installment signature loans with a credit check. Whether you need quick cash or a long-term solution, they're here to help. Enjoy cash-friendly service with easy access online at redrivercredit.com. You can apply in person at 4571 Northwest 23rd Street, Suite A in Oklahoma City. Call 405-440-0582. And we welcome you back here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk for the final segment. This is Luke Young live from Chelino's Mexican Restaurant. I got my drink. I'm ready to go for this last half hour. We're going to talk NBA and breaking news in this final segment. Chelino's is at 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. It is our first Wednesday of the month monthly show here at Chelino's. Always great coming out. 405-350-2006 is the number you should call here to get in touch with Chelino's. And remember that we've got high school playoffs tomorrow and Friday and Saturday with college basketball tomorrow. But if you're looking for a great place to go and watch some of the college action happening, especially for college football this week, stop by Chelino's. Again, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard out here in Yukon. Great spot. Chelinos.com. You can go to the website, find the location nearest to you there, and take a look at the menu. $8.99 enchilada night. One more time, we'll go through the menu items. Enchilada dinner, enchilada suizas, Nino's favorite enchiladas. Those are your choice of 2 cheese and onion, shredded chicken or beef enchiladas with the enchilada dinner. You've got 2 chicken enchiladas topped with green crema sauce on the enchilada suizas. You've got 2 cheese and onion enchiladas topped with chili sauce and 2 eggs your way on Nino's favorite. And you can try the avocado enchiladas, which is just 2 flour enchiladas filled with sliced avocado, and Marcelo's enchiladas, 3 cheese and onion enchiladas with your choice of sauce and topped with diced fajita beef or fajita chicken served with guacamole and pico de gallo. When we're done here, we're going to get some grilled chicken, and I think a burrito is coming my way. I think that's what I decided on. So we're going to get our own good Mexican meals, and you should stop by and get yourself one as well. They are open until 9 p.m. tonight, 10 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. They open at 10:30 a.m. Again, $8.99 enchilada night. Always a great time. Final 30 minutes here. It's officially just about 6 p.m. Let's see what we got. It's about 30 seconds until 6 p.m., so we're making good time. We're going to talk NBA, a little bit of breaking news, and some funny stuff from around. Before I get into the talk, Spotify Wrapped just came out. And I for sake of not maybe – oh, hold on. Oh, breaking news. Well, how about that? Miguel Rojas and the Dodgers agreed to a 1-year deal. He's back. There you go. See, that's why you do a breaking news. That's why you do a breaking news segment, because you never know when you're going to get breaking news. World Series hero, the comments are calling him. Miguel Rojas back in L.A. So, hey, congratulations to Rojas. That's pretty cool coming off of that World Series win that the Dodgers had. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah, Spotify Wrapped. So Spotify Wrapped just came out. I always love doing that one. I listen to a lot of music at work. If you use Spotify, it's always fun. I had 88,485 minutes listened to. My top 5 artists were George Strait, One Republic, Post Malone, Nirvana, and Big Sean. I'm really hitting all the major genres there. Pop, country, rock, rap, I've got it. I'm covered. Although my top genre was alternative rock. I'm a big dad rock guy. That's a look at my Spotify Wrapped. I'm not going to out myself any further than that, though, so don't worry about it. Just, hey, you might talk to us sometime. Let us know when we're doing live comments or anything like that, what your music taste is looking like. I always actually really enjoy talking about music. I could probably do a music show if I found the right co-host. But let's get back into the sports talk. So, Sonny Gray heading to the Red Sox. He's now on the other side of the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry. He says he never wanted to be in New York, which I believe it. I do believe it. He seemed pretty eager to get out there when he was first picked up, right? When he first went out to be a Yankee, but those things do change over time, once you've lived there, once you've played for the team for a while. He was rocking I believe a 2007 World Series cap it was.
when he was on call speaking about his move to the Red Sox. So the guy is invested. I mean, I'll give that to him. He is invested in the team and the rivalry already, which is super exciting. So, hey, Sox have maybe got a new pitcher, who can be that fan favorite. And since we're talking about baseball already, I do have some funny baseball news. Aaron Judge and Pete Alonso both got votes for the New York City mayoral race. I think Alonso got 3 votes. I think Judge got 4 or like 5 or something. Baseball stars for the Mets and Yankees are getting legitimate votes in the New York City electoral race. So what a world we live in. I mean, honestly, I don't blame them. I would have voted for Dustin Pedroia for Boston mayor if I lived up there at one point or another. That's my guy. But I just thought that was funny news I wanted to mention here. I wonder, that must actually happen a lot. I wonder how often that will actually happen, something like that. Someone will just put, do the write-in and write in a funny name. I always see people joke about that, but I didn't know people were actually doing that a lot. But apparently so. That's funny. So that's that. That's about all the baseball news we're going to talk about. Let's talk about NBA, because this is the big thing. Chris Paul is parting ways with the Clippers. This ESPN announced that the team will work with him on the next step of his career. But based on just general overview, Chris Paul on Instagram said, "Just found out I'm being sent home." The Clippers let him go, which a lot of people are seeing this like, man, the Clippers wouldn't be what they are today without Paul coming to them, kind of digging them out of the grave. A lot of people are joking about it, saying the Clippers don't have the money for their retirement tour for Chris Paul, which is crazy. Shout out NBA Centel, but it is kind of, he was planning to retire. I mean, we knew he was going to be done after this year. It's unfortunate to see really a modern legend of the game go out like this. Some people are saying he should go back to Oklahoma City and win a ring with Oklahoma City here. Go back-to-back with the Thunder, which that would be awesome. I mean, maybe he should do that. But wherever he ends up, I just hope that the end of his career is something he can be proud of. Again, it sucks that the Clippers let him go like they did. But, I mean, if you're looking at it from a professional, from an organizational point, if he wasn't helping the program in a major way, they'll let you go. That's business. There is something to be said for the sentimentality. There is something to be said for acknowledging the effort, the legend, the influence that a player like him has. But the decision has already been made, and the Clippers are going to help him out on what goes next. So we'll keep an eye out for what happens to Chris Paul. Now, another player we're going to keep an eye out for his future is Giannis Antetokounmpo. How about this? Brian Windhorst reveals Giannis already asked for a trade from the Bucks before the season even started. This does not surprise me, frankly. Honestly, after how many times the Boston Celtics beat the Milwaukee Bucks, I figured it was only a matter of time before we found out that Antetokounmpo wants the trade. It actually took longer than I expected. I expected this news to break much earlier in his career, in his tenure with Milwaukee. Let's go ahead. A lot of people are talking about the future of Giannis now and, theorizing where he could end up. The Bucks went 0-4 when here I'm reading from ESPN again, so let me read this word for word. I'll start here. Milwaukee, meanwhile, believed a strong season would be enough to quell trade speculation for their superstar, and the Bucks raced out to a 4-1 start. The Bucks, however, haven't been able to sustain that level of competition, especially without Antetokounmpo on the floor. The Bucks went 0-4 when Antetokounmpo had to sit out 4 consecutive games with a groin injury last month. And overall, the Bucks have a 1-5 record in games without Giannis. Even with Antetokounmpo back in the lineup over the past week, the Bucks have gone 1-2 entering Wednesday night, which included a loss to the previously 2-16 Washington Wizards. Antetokounmpo's turning 31 is averaging 30.6, 10.7, and 6.4 on 64% shooting. He is still the superstar. right? He is still by all means a superstar. Whether you say it as a personal or whatever, I don't think it's personal slump, but the team slump they're in. Where does he go now? That is the question. I hate trade speculation. I hate it. I try to stay away from it, but where does he go? Who picks up Giannis now that Giannis wants out? And I have to imagine that the news of where he goes, what team picks him up, will come sooner rather than later. I have to imagine that's going to be the case, but I just, no idea. I've got legitimately no idea. I jokingly said Chris Paul to the Thunder and Giannis to the Celtics since the Celtics lost Porzingis, but I don't think that's very realistic, and that's a lot of the reason why I stay away from it is because I can't take it seriously anyways. But that's me personally. Anthony Edwards and Jaylen Brown have both been on a very lights-out series of games for each one respectively, as has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But looking at the stats real quick, because I do have at least Brown saved, Anthony Edwards has had like 40-plus points in the last 4 or 5 games. He has been absolutely ridiculous offensively. Jaylen Brown, let's see, he's averaging 28 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, and 5 assists per game, shooting 50% from the field and 35% from 3, with great defense, by the way. The Celtics are in a transition year, losing Drew Holiday, losing Kristaps Porzingis, losing Al Horford, losing, trying to think, is there anyone I'm missing? Tatum is out with an injury, so basically lost him. It's where was I going? So Tatum's out. He has had to maintain control of this team and had to lead them. And recently, I mean, it was a rough start to the season for the Celtics, but recently he has come out and, again, led them to these big wins. They have wins over the Pistons, the Cavaliers, wins over the Knicks. That happened last night, I believe. Under Jaylen Brown, it seems like the Celtics have started to find a little bit of a rhythm, but I still think they do need Tatum back to get back to, league-wide competition and competition for the NBA Finals. I don't think they're going to have that this year, but I mean that just kind of happens when you're at this point in a team, right? Losing so many big names, so many starters. One team that has not lost big names is our Oklahoma City Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has scored 20-plus points in 93 straight games, the second longest streak in NBA history, behind only Wilt Chamberlain. SGA and the Thunder are one of just 4 teams ever to start a season 20-1 or better. They even extended that streak with a win over Golden State recently. The Thunder are going back-to-back. I mean, let's just make that exceptionally clear right now. The Thunder are going to win the finals again. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind with this team that they are rolling out onto the floor. There's no one that can stop them, especially if we see something like movement across the league, big names like Antetokounmpo wanting trades. If we see that on both sides, both Eastern and Western, no one can stop them, frankly. Maybe the only person that can stop them is Wembanyama. Maybe. But even then, it's a team game, and through a 7-game series, I don't know if anybody in the league is stopping the Thunder from going back-to-back. And, of course, that is not even mentioning all the draft picks, the draft capital that the Thunder hold. They could have a number 1 pick after the lottery this year, which, wild, of course, by the way. That's insane thing to even consider, that the Thunder might have a number 1 overall pick after going back-to-back, but that's basketball, baby. That's basketball. Let's circle this back to the Bucks. See, trouble in Milwaukee. That's a good headline. I'm trying to find, some of the teams that they're considering would be interested in the Giannis trade, but I'm not coming up with much. I guess it's still a little bit too early. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get anything from this one. But now one thing that the Bucks do have to do is they will owe Giannis a lot of money, right? A team has to pick up that contract or however it works. So there's a lot of folds in that, but I've just got no idea. I've got no clue who would be the one to take on that contract, who would be the one to make that trade. It's just not my area of expertise. And I don't have any problems admitting that. But Milwaukee is kind of – I'm not going to say this. I'm going to say this. They wanted to be top tier in the NBA. They found themselves second tier at best. They're not the team. They haven't been the team. They won't be the team. They're like the Philadelphia 76ers. The 76ers with Embiid wanted to be top tier. They are not that. They just are not, as a program, as an organization, built to succeed, in my opinion. I think Milwaukee and Philadelphia have been like that from the start. Now, I'm not obviously looking at their historical records right here. I don't have the records of the teams since those two players got to them. But to me, as a Boston fan, their relationship, their records against Boston always tells me everything I need to know, because you get the Celtics, who have 18 championships. Is it 18 now? Is it 17? 18 now. I'm losing track with so many. But you get to a team like the Celtics and the way they play Milwaukee and Philadelphia and the way they always have the upper hand. Those two teams are not going to be championship contenders with these players anymore. And I think Antetokounmpo sees the writing on the wall. He sees that it's a sinking ship and he's trying to get out. And I don't blame him. I would get out of Milwaukee too. That's not for him. I think their window has passed. It's closed. I don't blame him at all for wanting out. But let's move on a little bit. Let's move on. What do we want to talk about now? Oh, yeah, here we go. Some more local stuff. So I follow Breck Brady on Twitter now. I went and tried to keep up with some of the high school players we follow now, see where they go next. Brady recently went to Kansas on a trip, and he did receive an offer from the University of Kansas, so congratulations to Breck. He also went to Arkansas, which was pretty cool. Obviously, they've got their new head guy. But Breck Brady just adding to the list of colleges that are giving him an offer, and it's super exciting to see. Obviously, standout Bethany athlete, tight end, plays basketball. We saw him last night. The kid's going to have a long, successful career. I know I've said that before, but that's just the kind of news you'd love to see. I mean, we talked in the coaches show even about kids going to play at the next level and how big of an opportunity that is, how awesome that is always to hear about. And I just always, every time I get the chance, I want to bring light to it, right? I want to mention it. I want to congratulate them on it, because it is deserving of stuff. It is deserving of that. Report. The Spurs are expected to aggressively pursue Giannis to pair him with Victor Wembanyama. Well, there you go. I was wondering what team would be interested in Giannis. The Spurs. The Alien and the X-Buck. Teaming up, that would be a terror. That team really could give Oklahoma City a run for their money if they put both Giannis and Victor out on the floor. That would be ridiculous. I'm loving the replies to this on Twitter as well. There's legitimate fear in the replies right now. And some people are like, disgusting but necessary to stop the Thunder. And other people are like, no, don't do that either way. It would be terrible for the league. Very funny. Breaking news, the Rays are signing Cedric Mullins to a 1-year contract. The Mets are making a lot of moves this offseason, getting rid of people, getting some more people coming in. They just had a pitcher sign, although I can't remember his name right now. So the Mets are making their fair share of moves. 5-star Jake Krull has officially signed with Oklahoma. Top pass rusher in the nation out of IMG Academy. He has officially made his signing. Five-star athlete. I think he was ranked number 5 in the nation as an edge rusher. So there's another big pickup for OU, and they have got plenty of them. I saw a list earlier today of OU's scouts, of OU's recruiting class, of what the scouts have put together. It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It is insane. The talent that is coming to Oklahoma again, and I'm all here for it. I'm super happy to see. The Cowboys have ruled out offensive tackle Tyler Guyton and cornerback Trayvon Diggs for Thursday Night Football against the Lions. This comes from Ian Rappaport. Wide receiver George Pickens is good to go. This is good news for Dallas that their number 1 receiver, George Pickens, is ready to go. obviously, I never really thought there was a doubt just based on what I was hearing from the Dallas organization. What I saw from that, it looked like it was a minor injury, just something he had to take care of, right, and give it its time to heal after a short week. I always thought he would be fine, and it appears that he is. Breaking news, the Ravens and tight end Mark Andrews are agreeing to terms on a 3-year, $39.3 million extension. The Ravens lock up one of their most consistent offensive options right there. The Ravens are kind of in a down year themselves. What are they, 6-6 right now, something like that? Let me see if I can find their record real quick. Yep, 6-6. I was right. The Ravens are 6-6. They play the Steelers, another 6-6 team. The Ravens just got demolished by Cincinnati, which is why I say Cincinnati actually has a little bit more of a chance than you would think against Buffalo coming up. But the Ravens, let's see, their losses are to the LA Rams, which the Rams are a top team. Kansas City, Detroit, which had the chances to be top teams, aren't back in September, but I think that says more about Baltimore than it says about those other teams. Baltimore, even with Lamar at the helm, right, just it's not their year. Something isn't clicking there, and I don't watch them enough to know really what it is, but at least they have the confidence that, you know, even 6-6 atop the AFC North and down year, at least they have the confidence that Mark Andrews will continue to be a productive asset to that team. And, of course, if you're Mark Andrews signing for 3 more years, that's always very good news. I'll go ahead and look for any more breaking news I can find here. 8 hours ago, earlier today, it was announced by NESN, the New England Sports Network, that Jonathan Asprot's first goal is his – okay, hold on, let me say this. 7 years, 297 games in the AHL. Jonathan Asprot's first goal last night is a reminder to never give up, and NESN put out a whole big post about the journey to his first goal. Again, undrafted, and 7 years before he made his first goal in hockey. But congratulations to Jonathan Asprot. I'm not the hugest hawker. I'm not the I've been talking for too long. I'm not the biggest hockey fan in the world, but stories like that are always a lot of fun to read and to listen to, because it is a reminder to never give up. It's a reminder that it doesn't matter if you've got as many D1 offers as Breck Brady, and then you get offers and picked up and drafted by a pro team, or if you're undrafted coming out of high school, not seen very highly. If you get the chance to go play at the next level, be that college, be that pro, be that semi-professional, and independently before even the majors, if you get that opportunity, that in and of itself is an accomplishment. And you should always take that to its max, to its true end. Never give up on that, because you never know where a pro career will lead, no matter what level of the game you're playing at. All right. So, here's something fun. The CFB message boards have gone fully off the rails, proposing that Miami and Vanderbilt schedule a play-in game in Hawaii this weekend to attempt to get into the CFB. If you haven't been keeping up with Vanderbilt stuff, obviously I've talked about it at length, but those two teams are like making public demonstrations on why they should be in the playoffs. Vanderbilt's starting quarterback even tweeted at the president that President Trump needed to make an executive order to get Vanderbilt in the playoffs by expanding it to 16. I kind of agree. I still don't think Notre Dame should be in, but it would be really, really funny if Miami and Vanderbilt scheduled one more game to decide who gets in, just to spite the College Football Playoff Committee. I think that'd be awesome. And since I've been speaking about it, of course, Fox College Football decides to put out a post. Who deserves the playoff spot more? Texas, BYU, Vandy, Notre Dame, Miami, and I think that's Utah University. Obviously, out of these, it's Miami or Vandy. I mean, what is BYU right now? Are they a 2-loss team or a 3-loss team? BYU Cougars. Oh, they're 1 loss. They're 11-1. Oh, yeah, they're the number 11. I knew I was missing someone. But BYU right there as well. So you could go with both Brigham Young or Miami. I didn't even mention BYU. Okay, let's look at BYU's schedule. We got to talk about them now. Let's see. They took a ranked loss to Texas Tech back in September, but then they came back, beat a ranked Utah, and so they went 1-1 against ranked opponents. Oh, wait, I'm going the wrong way. They beat Utah first, then lost to Texas Tech later. But since then, they were 3-0. I mean, 1-1 in top-ranked matchups. You've kind of pretty handily dealt with everybody else. I've not seen any games that were kind of like scary for them. I don't know. Honestly, BYU has a pretty good chance. Just looking at their schedule right now, they have a good chance. I didn't even think to mention BYU. I completely forgot they were in the conversation. And apparently Aaron Roderick thinks that a good recruiting class is coming BYU's way. And honestly, the way that things have been turning out this year, I would have to agree with him on that. It does seem like a lot of these programs that may not usually be in the news are getting a lot of new recruits, a lot of talent flooding in. And again, it's always great to see. Antetokounmpo and his agent have started that conversation with the Bucks about getting him out of there. Okay, so here you go. So Shams Charania says a resolution is expected in the coming weeks. So it may not be this week, but it will be fairly soon. And as soon as I know, I'll tell you. Like, we will be keeping up with it as best as we can. Here's a stat comparison between Jared Goff and Dak Prescott for tomorrow night's game. Prescott has more passing yards, but they are tied in passing touchdowns. Goff has a very slight completion percentage advantage. I mean, it's 69.8% to 69.3%, and has thrown less interceptions. Me personally, even with the interceptions, Dak has still found a way to lead the team to victories. And, again, he is a great fantasy quarterback. So I'm going to go with Dak Prescott based on quarterback play. Now, will Detroit win as a team? Will Dallas win as a team? That I can't tell you. But, again, if you're debating between the two, you really don't have a bad option this week. You could start Goff or you could start Prescott, and you're probably going to have a pretty good week in fantasy. Let's see. Moving Nolan Arenado remains the organization's top priority. Katie Wu joins MLB tonight to discuss the Cardinals' plans after trading away Sonny Gray. We spoke about that earlier, but Sonny Gray, obviously an ex-Yankee as well. The Cardinals are not a team that I keep up with a lot, frankly. They've just there's never really been a reason to. But that could be the start. I mean, I'm pretty sure they got a decent little prospect group for Sonny Gray, so maybe we'll see the Cardinals back in the news a lot. Maybe. What else? What else could I talk about here at the end of the show? We have officially, come out of this 2-hour show. I mean, I'm out of stuff here. I'm ready to just go to tomorrow. I'm ready to eat. College basketball tomorrow, Southwestern Christian University taking on College of the Ozarks out of Missouri. That'll be another fun one. I'll be out there broadcasting that one on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk and on the SAC Sports Network, and the Urban Edge Network is the new partnership with the Sooner Athletic Conference. So there will be a lot of different ways to tune into that one. We invite you to come by. It should be fun. If my voice is not gone by Saturday, then I might have I might have a robot throat. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I got so much to do this week. My throat is going to hate me. My voice is going to be so gone, folks. It's going to be bad. But here at the end of the show, we've been at Chelino's, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard in Yukon. It is $8.99 enchilada night. This was our special first Wednesday of the month show. Always a fun one to come out here to Chelino's. One thing I usually don't mention a lot of is their dessert menu, but they do have a lot of great desserts as well. Mexican apple pie, chocolate cake, cheesecakes. They've got flan. They've got fried ice cream, which fried ice cream is really good too. But they've got as many desserts to complement your main order of an $8.99 enchilada deal. Try the enchilada dinner, the enchilada suite says Nino's favorite enchiladas. You've got the avocado enchiladas, Marcelo's enchiladas, and many, many other great menu items across this Chelino's menu. 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard, but again, they have locations all across Oklahoma City. For this one, call 405-350-2006. Get in contact with the restaurant and the great people here. And thank you to Chelino's for letting us come by and do this 2-hour episode of The Game Plan. When we come back next week for more shows, we'll try to get a couple guests on, try to do some fun stuff as we wrap up the high school football season. And always be on the lookout for interviews and coaches shows. Of course, we'll have another coaches show on Monday. That one will be with men's basketball. And then we'll get women's basketball one more time before we go to winter break, Christmas break, and everybody's done until January. So thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Game Plan. I got to get our food ordered and get back to the studio. So from Luke Young and at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant, thank you so much for tuning in. It was another fun one. I hope you enjoyed. I've got to give my throat a break. I might be going and getting the cough pill before too long, or cough medicine. So I'm getting out of here. Y'all have a good night. God bless. See you later.